You're listening to DC High Volume, Batman. Only months ago, young Dick Grayson swore an oath with Batman to ensure that what happened to his family would never happen to another. But the road ahead has been a daunting one for our would-be Robin. Endless nights of training in the Batcave and constant tests under Batman's vigilant watch. Dick Grayson faces the final trial to earn his place at Batman's side. And now, Batman, the Gauntlet.
Closing in on midnight. I followed an unmarked van to Slate's sand and gravel.
Please! Why won't you tell me what you want? If it's money.
Money. What a laugh.
Right this way, Mr. Tate. Somebody wants to have words with you. Come on.
Well. Carlton Tate, the Gianni Versace of Gotham City. You know, I'm really gonna enjoy making you squeal.
Oh God. Let me speak to Joe. He doesn't understand. This is a mistake. I can explain. You gotta believe me. Please, Del Kane.
No mistake, pal. Welcome to payback time.
Don't do this, Del Kane. I'm begging you.
You stinking weasel. It was Mr. Manette set you up in business. You've had it easy from the start. And how do you show your appreciation? By throwing in with the Graziano mob? Well, no one walks away from Joe Manette, greaseball. Enough!
Batman!
My eyes!
I can't see!
Getting caught in the flash from igniting nichrome creates up to 3 minutes of blindness. Afterwards, the epithelial layer of the cornea feels irritated and raw, as if it's been rubbed with sandpaper. Joe Manette deals in drugs and pornography, prostitution and gambling. He's ruthless, as deadly as a barracuda, and he deals harshly with people who cross him, as Carlton Tate almost learned.
Don't hurt me!
Don't worry, Tate. The flash pellets wear off quickly. Now stay under the van and be quiet. The vice racket brings out the worst in everyone, including me.
Hey, the glare is fading.
Yeah.
Shoot! For crying out loud! Shoot him!
And my worst is a lot more severe than nichrome blindness.
Okay.
Anna! Too close together. Don't let him take you. That's it. You're dead meat, freak show!
In your dreams, Del Kane. First you're going down. Then I'm taking out the rest of Joe Manette's sleazy organization. That's a promise. That promise will be tough to keep. I've spent weeks shaking down informants and digging to find the link between Tate and Joe Manette. Now I'm back at square one. All that time and effort wasted.
Hey, Bruce. Sounds like Batman had a busy night. From what I heard on the police band, he really numbed Joe Manette's goons.
Too bad there's nothing to show for it.
Wait a minute. I don't get it. You saved Mr. Tate and took out Del Kane. Boss Joe Manette's chief torpedo. What's wrong with that?
Tate refuses to press charges. Now he'll flee the country before Joe can try again. That leaves Del Kane facing a simple misdemeanor rap. Manette's probably already sprung him and the others. Joe Manette thinks he's above the law. But Batman will teach him differently.
And maybe Robin should be your teacher's assistant.
You think you're ready for my final exam?
Mr. I'll ace any test you give me.
I won't make it easy for you. This will be a practical field test. You'll have to handle it by yourself.
Trust me, Bruce. I know I'm ready.
I'll set it up for the 4th of July weekend. That'll give you a couple more weeks to prepare. While I start making things hot for Joe Minette. July 3rd, 9:30 a.m. Gotham City's financial hub, the Seltzman building. Joe Minette has called an emergency meeting.
For weeks now, the Batman has been squeezing us all over town. And I'm sick of it. I want Batman off my back.
Psst, Terranova, pay attention, will you? I am paying attention. Let me alone.
Anthony, dig up all the dirt the media has on that pointy-eared pest.
You got it, boss.
Batman must have a weakness. We're gonna find his soft spot, and we're gonna hammer it and pound it until the stinking Batman climbs off my back. In the meantime, we need to make sure all our key operations are protected.
I've put extra muscle on all our action south side and in the East End.
That's good, Marky. Real good. At least you're taking this seriously. And Terranova, stop it with the cards already. You're making me crazy.
Hey, that's my lucky deck. Relax, Joe, relax. It's Batman making your life miserable, remember? We're on your side.
That's it. That is it. Everybody except Del Kane, get out! Out!
All right.
Okay.
I warned you.
I shadowed him like you wanted. Ricky Terranova's undercover heat, Mr. Minette. I've seen him meeting Commissioner Gordon. He's been going through our records, too. We can't let Terranova grab anything the DA can use against us.
He ain't grabbing nothing. Take Hargis and Sill. Make sure you get whatever evidence he's collected. Then shut our friend Ricky up for good.
July 3rd, 2:32 p.m. The Warehouse District. Deserted over the long July 4th weekend.
Thanks for the lift, Alfred. See you tomorrow.
Not so fast, young sir.
Aw, come on. Bruce and I have been over this a dozen times already.
Then 13 must be your lucky number.
Okay. I'm on my own when you leave. I can't ask for help from anyone. I have to stay inside city limits, and I have to remain in costume at all times. I've got a 6-hour head start, then at sundown, Batman comes hunting me. To pass the test, I have to keep Batman from finding me until tomorrow at sunrise. Once I've done that, it's look out Gotham, here comes Robin, the boy wonder.
You seem to have an excellent grasp on your assignment. I wish you the best of luck, Master Dick.
Back at Wayne Manor.
Beg pardon, sir. The boy has been placed in the city per your instructions. My hope is that Gotham's ruffians are all vacationing at the seashore this weekend.
You don't approve of this, do you?
To be perfectly honest, I do not. He is just a lad. Have you considered the road upon which you're placing him? Is Master Dick best served by becoming a part of the Batman's violent world?
The whole concept of Robin is important to Dick, old friend. And it's important for Dick. When I lost my parents, I had no way to release my anger, my grief. Though he hides it well, those same emotions are churning away inside Dick. Robin will be his release valve, a way to exorcise that darkness before it can corrupt his soul. Nobody else can give him this, Alfred. Only I can. And I will.
I trust you to know best, though I confess to hoping this is one test our young Robin does not pass.
This game of hide and seek lets me judge Dick's abilities under real-world conditions. Don't worry. Dick can't become Robin until I'm positive he is ready. 4:49 p.m. on the rooftops of Crime Alley. Robin begins begins the gauntlet.
I'm positive Batman will pick up my trail at Leslie's. But I'm ready for him. He'll never expect...
Hey! Move it, say you're blocking my view!
Your view?
Where is it, Terranova? We're the goods.
What's it gonna be, Ricky?
Call the police, ma'am.
Come on. Where are the goods?
Come on, Ricky, talk.
Where are the goods?
Stick it.
Send for an ambulance, too. These jerks are gonna need it.
Great. Just what we need. Now some kid wants to play hero. All right, Robin Hood. Let us show you what it means to mess with the big boys.
Hargis, you want a licking, Brad? Huh? Is that what you want? I'll give you a licking.
Buddy, you couldn't lick your lips.
You scrawny little...
Come on, guys. Be stupid. Try again.
Cops.
Damn it, we're out of time. And so are you, Ricky. Head for the car, boys. Let's clear out of here.
Get in the car. You drive, Delkey. You gotta help me.
Easy, pal, easy. Let's get this wound cleaned up. We want you looking good when the paramedics arrive.
Lucky Dak. Gordon's Lucky Dak.
Gordon? You mean James Gordon? The police commissioner?
Gordon wants some Lucky Dak. Gordon. Lucky Dak. Oh.
Those sirens are getting close. Batman should have flunked me if I get tangled up with the authorities. And since the cops are going to get a blow-by-blow description anyway...
Hey! Hey, Sonny! Don't you go running off. Wait now, you hear? Damn kids today. Don't pay no mind to no one.
He's lost a lot of blood already. We gotta get him. Apply pressure. Okay, yeah, okay. Ready? We should lift.
Looks like they got that poor guy stabilized. Good. Now let's see what's so special about his lucky deck. Wow. No wonder those creeps were playing rough. The mob can't risk having its pornographers selling to the police. These are not the kind of cards you can buy in stores. Gordon must have a wild side Batman doesn't know about.
Gordon's getting Terranova served up on a stretcher, boss.
What?
There was this kid. He got the cops on us before Ricky could spill where he hid the evidence.
A kid? What's his connection to Terranova?
We don't know, Mr. Manette.
You don't know? You don't know? Well, you better find out. Call Anthony. Describe this kid to him. Tell him to get on lookouts on the streets. Have them comb the city. When they spot the punk, you go snatch him. Don't screw up, Delkane. I want this kid.
July 3rd, 8:47 p.m. Sundown. I was hoping for a quiet holiday, Jim.
Not in Gotham, I'm afraid. I should be bringing the lab boys a microdot with the evidence we need to slap Joe Manette behind bars. Instead, my deep cover plant is in critical condition at County General. Ricky Terranova. His methods are unorthodox, but he gets results.
I like him already.
He was smuggling the microdot out on a deck of cards when Manette blew his cover. The boy saved Ricky from being beaten to death.
Boy?
Our witness says he must be trying out a costume for the big 4th of July parade. He left the scene with the cards and the results of a year-long undercover job. That makes him a target for every hood on Manette's payroll. I've put out an APB, but can my men find him in time? It's a long shot. We'll do our best, but I'm short-handed running holiday shifts. Of course. I knew I could count on your help, old friend.
Dr. Leslie Tompkins' clinic. I knew this would be Robin's first stop. Dick isn't a Gotham native. It's not easy to get a feel for the city when you're isolated, living in Wayne Manor. But we often visit Leslie's clinic. He'd come here to get his bearings. Or to stash a message in an obvious place. The eye socket of the clinic skeleton. There's a slip of paper tucked inside. FT blank TTT. It's not a message. It's a puzzle. Dick's trying to taunt me. Figure out the sequence, fill in the blanks, and get a clue to his location. Definitely not a letter substitution sequence. But it is either a 2-syllable or 2-word answer. Probably a location or an address. SSE blank N. An address, of course. If I'm lucky, this will give me a jump on Joe Manette and his goons.
He's where? Don't lose him. We'll be there in 20 minutes. That was Al Leota. He spotted the brat for us.
Where? I want another shot at that little twerp.
Down on Rosary Street. Seems our good Samaritan is breaking into the Globe Theater.
This place is perfect. July 3rd is always a dark night for the Globe. That way, they can stage a special 4th of July matinee show instead. I've got time to set up a great gag here. Batman is at least 3 hours behind me. He has to follow my trail from Leslie's into City Center and out to Mantlo Park before coming all the way back to International Data Technologies. And wait till he sees the clue I planted at IDT. Even Riddler would have trouble figuring it out.
I'll have to remind Robin about the danger of patterns. Dick wants me to waste time bouncing between Bruce Wayne's charities and his business competitors. The puzzle at Leslie's clinic led me to 1585th Street, the headquarters of Palmco, Wayne Enterprises' primary domestic rival. At Palmco, I found a rebus directing me to Mantlo Park, which the Wayne Foundation preserves. That's when the pattern emerged. I skipped the park and came here, the offices of IDT, my chief international competition. The gamble paid off. Robin has definitely been here. There, on the computer screen, an image of the Earth and a number. 91792207. A phone number? Many businesses dial 9 to access the local trunk. No, forget it. The next 3 numbers, 179, don't form a valid Gotham exchange. The graphic must mean something too. But what? What am I missing? The Earth, the world, the... Ha. Clever. The meaning only becomes clear in the mirror. The number's reflection spells out Rossery. He's down at the harbor, the Globe Theater, on Rossery Street. At least he was there. Dick could have spent all afternoon crisscrossing town, leaving clues for me. I've wasted enough time playing Robin's games. It's time for a different approach.
What a life. Batman breathing down my neck. This kid out there causing trouble. The dirt Terra Nova collected is still missing. What else can go wrong?
Hello, Joe.
Batman!
I was in the neighborhood. Your 2 friends here tried to stop me, so I gave them the night off. And I thought I'd deliver a little message. Keep your slimy hands off the boy!
Batman, hey, Batman! Joe Manette don't war on kids! You got me all wrong! Gone. The miserable bloodsucker. He really cares about the boy. Yeah, he cares about that boy. Anthony, call Del Kane. Tell him we're sending backup. Then you scramble the boys. I'm talking about Kent Hollywood and the McMurray brothers. Marky, Little Howard, and Mike DeLand. I even want Peabody and Dick's airborne. Make sure they understand, Anthony. I want this kid or his corpse.
Damn it, Delcane. I don't like the idea of reinforcements. Doesn't Joe think we can handle it?
Don't worry. We're not losing this kid to the likes of Mark or Lee Wu. Hargis, go in there and grab him.
Me? Well, what about you and Sil?
We're the insurance. If he slips past you, we'll make sure he doesn't go far.
Just a couple more connections and I can... What's that? Batman couldn't have pieced all my clues together so quickly. Please, please, don't let that be Batman.
Jeez, what a dump. There's only about a zillion places he could hide. Real funny, kid. Except I ain't laughing. There's a whole gang of them coming down from the raft. Back, you creep. Can't be. Still come. A dummy. They're all just costume dummies.
Hey, I resent that. I recognize this guy. He's one of the creeps I tangled with in Crime Alley. And if he's here, his partners are probably right behind.
Hey, that's him!
Uh-oh. Speaking of the Trouble Twins...
Damn, Hargis blew it. Grab the wheel, Sil. I'll nail the punk.
They're coming back around, and I'm out of here.
He's heading for the bridge. You can't run fast enough, pretty boy.
What would Batman do? What would Batman do? Too bad he's not around to ask.
You son of a... He jumped.
Oh, yeah? I didn't hear any splash, did you?
Man, these jerks mean business. But at least they can't reach me when I'm hanging below the bridge here. What? Okay, Boy Wonder. What's your next brilliant move? It's gotta be this!
Yeah, that's it. Keep your eyes peeled. Mr. Manette will want the body.
Sure, Delcane, sure. You got one small problem. Your body's heading into the sewers.
I can follow this back to the main tunnels. From there, it'll be a cinch to lose the rats.
All right, boys. Let's take this run by the numbers.
They've spotted me. I tailed these two from Manette's office, hoping they'd lead me to Robin. Now I'll have to get personal.
Back off, you crummy spook!
All right, gentlemen. You asked for it. We'll do this the hard way.
We're swerving! Hold it! I can't!
I'm hiding atop some sewer pipes when I hear the gangsters approach.
I hate it down here.
Tough. We ain't leaving without the kid.
Want to bet on that?
Uh-huh.
You know, most hoods are content just to have their minds in the gutter.
Delcane, down here. You're a real comedian, Robin Hood. Go ahead. Tell me another one.
I told you these saps could never take them by themselves.
Yeah, good thing we've learned not to underestimate Junior here. I'd snuff you right now if I didn't need to score points with Miss Manette. But after you get done spilling everything you know about Ricky Terranova...
Or at least, that's what he thinks is going to happen.
I ran one of the gangsters' vans off the road. Now to finish the job.
Gun. Where's the damn gun?
Forget the gun. Worry about me. Manette sent you to kidnap a young boy.
No!
Or kill him.
No!
Tell the truth. Don't make me pull you up here. All this jagged metal.
Okay, okay! Manette wants the kid, like you say. That's all I know.
Where did Manette want the boy delivered?
Riverside. Honest, I swear. Joe's got a warehouse down there.
Oh, Lord.
That thug can only mean one place. The business grapevine says Manette recently squeezed out the owners of Field Imports and bought their warehouse for a song. It's the biggest storage facility in town, and it's the only place with enough pier space to accommodate the barge containing Gotham's 4th of July fireworks. Delcane's on guard duty. I know I've come to the right place. It would be easy to take him out, but it's more important to check on the boy. I survey the warehouse from inside an air duct. They didn't take any chances. The rope is Samson Tech 12 Maxi Braid, and they combined bowstring knots with constrictor hitches to bind him. They must have thought he was helpless. It took him less than 90 seconds to free himself.
Yes!
That goon has his nose buried in a comic book. He hasn't noticed. Robin's already above him. But now comes the tricky part. Robin took the ropes they used to bind him and tied a proper noose. It's placement that's the critical factor.
Hey, don't...
A textbook job. He made sure the rope missed the hanging vertebrae, and the jugular vein, and the vagal nerve. That goon can hang for hours without danger of strangulation. Robin is going to be a very good soldier. A very good soldier. But is he good enough to go one-on-one with Manette's top enforcer?
Phil, what's going? Damn that kid.
Though Kane doesn't look impressed. He's definitely out for blood. But I can drop him from here with a batarang. Wait.
No, we haven't been properly introduced. I'm Robin. In your history, dirtbag!
Maybe I'm not needed after all.
You miserable pest. I've about had my fill of you.
Come on, Delcane!
Big talk for someone who just got dumped on his keister.
Let's see if you still crack wise once you've had a taste of what I gave Terra Nova.
Yeah, right. You couldn't finish him off even after your buddies had worked him over.
That's good. You keep thinking that way. It ends right here, Robin Hood.
You got that right. It ends right here!
That throw. Judo. Where did that come from? I never taught Dick that move.
He's down for the count. Score another for the boy wonder. If he thought I was a pest before, ha! Finally! All those creeps are out of my hair. But Batman's out there somewhere, and sunrise is still about 3 hours away. I've got plenty of work to do, and... Uh-oh.
Freeze! Don't move!
Joe Manette!
That's right. I want the evidence Terra Nova gave you. Hand it over, and maybe I'll let you off easy.
Evidence? From a penny ante porn dealer?
Don't play cute. I'm not in the mood for games.
Not even hide and seek?
Where'd he... That little...
There, boss. He's headed for the fireworks barge.
Get your lard button gear, Anthony. We ain't letting him get away.
Think. How do I turn this place to my advantage?
There's 100 places you can hole up in this gal.
We'll root him out. Stay sharp. Don't let him sneak past us.
This stinks. We gotta call the boys for backup.
Down there! Fire!
Nothing.
He's here somewhere. This way. Come on. I got a gut feeling.
Boss, this punk's slippery as an eel. He got away from Delcane. It takes a real pro to do that. And if we're not careful, with all these firecrackers...
Don't talk to me about firecrackers! Nothing matters except the punk in the cape. He ain't getting off this tub alive.
There he goes. Cripes, I warned you. You hit a box of skyrockets. It's a chain reaction. Come on, the whole barge can blow.
Yeah, and that's just what he's gonna figure too. So he'll head for the water. There he is!
What?
End of the line, kid.
kid.
You and your jackals have chased me from one end of town to the other. Why, Manette? What do you want with a small fry like me?
You had to pay for helping that damn snitch Terra Nova.
Snitch? The guy in Crime Alley must be helping Gordon, working both sides.
And then I realized you were tied in with the Batman. That's when I knew you were dead meat. I'm gonna hang your carcass in Gotham Square. I'll show the Bat and Gordon and all the do-gooders in this town they better think twice before they mess with Joe Manette. I run Gotham City. Right, kid? You got past my best men, but not me. There's no way out for you now. No way!
My presence looms large. The boy doesn't even see. But he does take his opportunity.
You know, Manette, I just figured out where the term river rat comes from. If only Batman could have seen this. All right, everybody out of the pool. The police just hate when you trip all over their paddy wagons.
Pressure's up. Bravo Company sending us another pumper.
Dean, run that line down here now.
You know who my lawyer is?
Come on, hands behind your back. Come on.
Easy, tough guy.
Hey, King, you read Mr. Minetta's rights?
Yeah, him and all his stooges. What a sorry-looking bunch.
Hey, you! You set off enough sparklers to set all of Riverside to blazing.
Well, yeah, but...
And mixing it up with the likes of Joe Manette. I don't want costume scalawags running around my precinct, you understand?
At ease, Sergeant.
Mother Cree, it's...
Walk with me, Delancey. I want your report. And I suspect these two need to talk privately.
Whatever you say, sir. Sakes preserve us.
I'll take the cards.
How did you know about the cards?
The same way I knew the answer to this puzzle you left at Leslie's was the first letters of the count by 5 numbers up to 100. 15 and 85 were missing. That meant 1585th Street. Your goal was obviously to lead me on a merry chase all night long.
Of course. Obviously.
Now, let's see. Here it is. That cop you saved in Crime Alley placed enough evidence on this microdot to put Manette away for good. Gordon will be pleased.
Yes! I made a major bust on my very first night!
True. But you should have delivered the cards to Gordon immediately.
I didn't know.
Right. You didn't consider all the possibilities. That put you directly in Manette's line of fire. Plus, all this damage. The Wayne Foundation will be paying premium dollars for replacement fireworks to save Gotham's Independence Day celebration.
Worst of all, you found me way before sunrise. I flunked the test.
I wouldn't go that far. It may not be sunrise, but this looks like the dawn of a new day to me. Come on. Let's go introduce you to Commissioner Gordon. Partner.
You've been listening to DC High Volume Batman, The Gauntlet. Batman Chronicles The Gauntlet comic story and art by Bruce Canwell and Lee Weeks. Directed by Fred Greenhalgh. Audio adaptation by Fred Greenhalgh, Roshan Singh Sambi, and Scott Lee Chua. Batman created by Bob Kane with Bill Finger. Starring Jason Spizak as Batman and Nick Fisher as Robin, with Seth Austin as Del Kane and Michael McGlone as Joe Manette. Also starring Jesse Birch, Zach Paul Brown, Kamur Hardiman, Charles Halford, Jay Paulson, Leonard Moore, Adam O'Byrne, Eric Lang, Tommy Kang, Matt Kaminsky, Eric Morgan Stewart, Keith Sarabica, Simon Vance, Mick Wingert, and Time Winters. With crowd voices by Philip Hobby, Heather Irish, Tony Riley, Casey Turner, William Walker, and Ashanti Williams. Casting by Sunday Bowling Kennedy and Meg Mormon CSA. Produced by Fred Greenhalgh and Roshan Singh Sambi. Executive producers for DC, Mike Pilata and Victor Diaz. Executive producers for Realm, Molly Barton and Carly Migliori. Production manager, Jordan Aconcia. Music composed by Sam Ewing and Perrine Virgil. Additional music by Marcus Thorne Bagala. Supervising sound design and mix by Jeff Schmidt. Additional sound design by Jonathan Roberts. Dialogue editing by Chia Yem Chong. Additional production support by Ondas Productions. Assistant editor Jamie Leidwinger. Associate producer Andrew Kwan. Production services provided by Realm. Recorded at Real Voice LA, CityVox, The Orange Lounge, and Acadia Recording Company. This podcast was recorded under a SAG-AFTRA agreement. Based on characters from DC, the characters and events depicted in this podcast are fictional. Any similarity to any actual person, living or dead, or to any actual events, firms, places, and institutions or other entities is coincidental and unintentional. This podcast is protected under the laws of the United States and other countries, and its unauthorized duplication, distribution, or exhibition may result in civil liability and criminal prosecution. Copyright and trademark DC. All rights reserved.